What's up, everyone, and welcome to the weekly Q&A. Our first question comes from leftist hominid and Sooner Thrawn, who ask if those green vats from the abandoned Kaminoan facility are related to Snoke.
Yes and no. I think they're very, off to the side related to Snoke. It definitely looks like, yeah, that's the same kind of vat that we see all those Snokes floating around in on Exegol. I don't think that anything on that planet, on Air Camino, as I'm calling it, I don't think any of that, I know it has a real name, I just can't remember it. Anything on that planet, I think, was just an old cloning project that they abandoned. So I see it as maybe old technology that they no longer use.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know why I wasn't expecting any Snoke theories to pop up from that, but now that I remember watching it this morning, as soon as I saw, the green vats, and I was kind of like, oh, what's in there? It popped into my head. I was like, that looks like Snoke.
Yeah.
But, it was, such a fleeting thought that I was like, surely this won't be. It's connected. Maybe. Possibly.
I don't think it's connected I'm definitely making kind of connections in my head of, okay, so we've been talking about there being a Kaminoan or a clone uprising or something, and that by the end of this series, maybe Kaminoans aren't around anymore. Maybe Kamino is wiped out. And so they still, the Empire wants to clone still, but they got rid of all their cloners, and they may have gotten rid of all of their cloning technology. And so then they go to this old abandoned facility, and they're like, okay, well, this is what we have, and we'll work with it.
They got rid of their A, B, and C team, so they got the D team working on whatever leftovers they can find.
Yeah, Dr. Pershing is just doing his best with this old equipment, and I like that idea. Because I like the idea of the Empire wiping out Kamino and then being like, we needed them. It just seems like an Empire thing to do. Just very, proud and full of hubris. You've defied us and now you're dead and gone. And then 20 years later, you're like, oh, crap. We shouldn't have done that. So I like that idea. And yeah, it kind of ties in with, the Rise of Skywalker novelization talks about them having trouble with cloning. And we see some of it in The Mandalorian. But yeah, the idea that they're having to use old equipment on Exegol, I like that.
Darth Max 66 wants to know if there were any other clone siblings of Alpha and Omega, Beta, Delta, Sigma, and so on.
I don't think so. It sounds like there were just two.
Yeah. It sounds like they're pretty desperate to get Omega back at this point, and it sounds like they don't know where Boba is, or they may even think that he's dead, so I don't think there's any other ones.
I still don't buy that. To me, I'm like, how do you not... you should be able to find Boba. He didn't just disappear. He's been a bounty hunter. I think that they're probably just he sounds like he would be difficult to get a hold of, or capture. Maybe so let's go after Omega.
Maybe they think Boba's DNA is, it's the exact DNA, but, he turned out to be a bounty hunter and kind of, a mean guy.
Right.
And they were like, let's pull from Omega. She's much nicer.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting, is that she's they're underestimating Omega. She'll be a lot easier to capture than Boba Fett. But yeah, Tech says that as far as they know, Alpha and Omega were the only two created. And yeah, I think they probably just thought they were fun little nicknames to give them. I don't think there were 26 unaltered clones like that, or pure replications. I think that's what Tech called them.
Mm-hmm. Cosmic Outpost asks if we'd want to see Cad Bane appear in live action in the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
Someone like Cad Bane, I'm surprised that they haven't done... I don't know, I was really hoping to see Shriv in The Rise of Skywalker, because Aduro's character is it's a person in makeup. That seems like the Mandalorian kind of live action MO is like slap a helmet on a person, and like if Pedro Pascal's not available, we got the stunt guy acting, and then Pedro does the voice later. Like, you can put a stunt person in a Duros mask and plop a cowboy hat on him, and then Corey Burton comes along and does the voice later. Like, that's perfect. It fits so well. So
yeah, didn't they have Duros added to the cantina scene?
they were always in the cantina.
They were there, so yeah, we could
definitely. And they're just people in masks.
Definitely a possibility. It'd be interesting to see if they did like an animatronic mouth or something, or if it were going to be CG.
I think they could get away with some CG. Like, I don't know, try to do it practical, but like touch it up with CG, and I think that'd be great.
Get like a professional gunslinger to be the stunt guy.
Oh, that'd be sick.
That'd be so cool. Sean Fitzgerald wants to know if Padme's handmaidens could appear in the Bad Batch. Didn't think about this at all.
Yeah, that's why I threw it in. Like, I think that's kind of a stretch, but I could also kind of see it, because they all popped up in the Darth Vader comic recently, and that's like after The Empire Strikes Back. But like, they're still active and running around, and you know, right after Revenge of the Sith, in Queen's Shadow, Sabe has an epilogue of like, something's not right here. Someone killed Padme, and I'm going to find out who. And she starts this investigation. So seeing her and all the other handmaidens pop up, especially like Omega's had a lot of guy time. She could use, right? She could use some good women influences.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Fennec Shand is all she has right now.
Exactly. I thought that we were going to get some kind of moments with her and Fennec. I mean, we have gotten a few so far, but she's still kind of like a cold-blooded assassin. But in today's episode, she was telling her, like, you're much safer with me than anyone else.
I'm warming up to Fennec, and the idea that...
I mean, I love Fennec.
Yeah, and I was hoping like, as a character, she's great, but like, now that I'm seeing that she has been hired by Nala Se to protect Omega, I'm like, yeah, like, get her on board.
Yes.
But yeah, that's off topic. Handmaidens, I like the idea. I think it's unlikely, but I think it would be a really fun one.
My answer to this question is maybe. Padme.
Oh.
Sabe.
Okay.
Brandon Velasquez asks if you can sue the Jedi Order.
I love that question. I'm going to guess no, because they probably would be constantly sued. Like, I immediately thought of Trace and Rafa and their story in Season 7 of the Clone Wars about how their parents died. And the Jedi weren't, like, directly responsible, but they were a little bit, and it was like Luminara just came in and said, like, sorry about that, may the Force be with you. See ya. Like... It feels like there should be some form of like malpractice, or you know.
I wonder if like late at night on the HoloNet there are recordings that are like, have you been messed with by one of those pesky Jedi?
Yeah.
Call us now.
Was your speeder stolen and crashed by some rash Padawan?
Was your mind invaded by a Jedi? Were you mind tricked into doing something that you didn't want to do?
There are all kinds of legal ramifications to stuff that Jedi do. It's like, I think that we haven't really seen lawyers in Star Wars, and it's probably for exactly that reason. Is that it's like, the second we bring a lawyer in, it's gonna just, everything will collapse. It's like, why aren't people being sued constantly?
Yeah. It would make sense in a real world, but we're not talking about a real world, and
right.
Throwing a lawyer into all this doesn't make any sense.
That's it for patron questions. If you're a patron and you didn't see your question answered here, just head over to Patreon, where we left you a written response. If you're not a patron, you can learn more by following the link in the description. Just $1 a month will get you access to extra Star Wars Explained content, like audio commentaries for the films, and for the Bad Batch and the Clone Wars and a lot of other things, but we're also adding reactions this week to the Bad Batch, so we sent an edited version out to all of our patrons just to get you a feel of what it's going to be like, and we're also doing an uncut version, which is a lot more of us just like sitting and watching, but
Yeah, those are the uncut ones at the $5 tier. That's where you're going to see the Pippin and Hilo interruptions and whatever else other interruptions go on during our watch-along.
The stuff that's irrelevant to the episode, but is still, I guess, entertaining to watch if you want to watch our animals ruin our viewing experience. But yeah, we're doing reactions now, and we're going to have even more announcements for the Patreon next week, so stay tuned for that.
On to YouTube questions. Daniel S. asks if Han could be briefly freed from Carbonite in the War of the Bounty Hunters to see Kira face-to-face one last time.
I don't think so. I think that he has to stay in that block until Return of the Jedi.
I agree, or else I don't think he would have the hibernation sickness as bad as he did. Like, I just...
Depends on how long he's been in the block now. Like, if it's only been a week, and then War of the Bounty Hunters happens, and then he pops out and goes back in, but like...
I guess, yeah.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I guess he would have no memory of that?
I think so. Like, I don't know if he can... who knows what is going on when you're stuck in Carbonite, if you can hear what's going on outside. I would assume not. It seems like rock. Yeah. I think he's probably just...
You're literally frozen in rock.
Yeah. But, like, to have him unfreeze and then to freeze him in the exact same position again, like, that is kind of silly. But more so, I really like the idea that he never sees Kira again. And that hopefully she does survive this, and he does wind up helping her the way he always wanted to, but he doesn't even get to know it. There's something tragic, but, like, I like it. I like the tragedy.
Yeah, it's already really interesting to reintroduce Kira while Han is in Carbonite, and I agree. I think it makes for a better story if he never realizes that she's trying to help him.
Well, I don't think she's trying to help him.
Well, he never realizes that Kira was involved at all.
Yes.
Cypher Foxy wants to know if Crosshair will get cybernetics after his injuries in Reunion.
That's something you've talked about before.
I thought maybe. We didn't really see much of him in this episode. He was still all bandaged up, but he wasn't needing to be on like a ventilator or anything. But I still think there's a heavy possibility in my head. I picture the theory of him being the first of the idea of the Death Troopers. I just think is super cool.
I still think that's on the table, yeah.
I'm going to hang on to that theory until I'm proven wrong. But
I mean, even if I agree, like, his injuries, he seemed to be fairly recovered in this week's episode. But, like, he could still volunteer for enhancements. It's kind of like Grievous or Abomination in the Incredible Hulk movie, where it's like, I need more power. Like, I can't keep up with the Bad Batch, so give me more. And, like, it, rips out more and more of your humanity. So he could go that way. I hope he doesn't, just because I'm still hopeful that he winds up coming back, that they get his chip out and all that. But he could also be a nice foil to Echo, like someone who becomes more and more machine and loses themselves, whereas Echo is very much machine, but is still himself.
Maybe he'll get the enhancement that I'm thinking of a specific GIF that I think is from a kid's show, and it's a kid looking at something, and he's got this visor that comes down, and then
Spy Kids.
There's a bunch of I've never seen it, but maybe like he gets one of those implemented into his head, so like he can
enhance.
It's like even better sniper.
Super scope. His eye just telescopes out.
AH asks if we could see any Jedi in Andor.
I don't wanna.
Don't wanna?
Nah.
I kind of don't wanna either. It's for what it sounds like it's going to be, like cool spy rebel intelligence stuff, Cassian and who knows who else, but like do we need to see any Jedi? I mean,
I don't think we need to.
The one that could pop up could be Obi-Wan, if like Bail keeps in touch with him at all, and if Bail is in this, but
I guess there's a chance, with Kenobi and Andor coming out in the same year, but
corporate
no.
synergy.
Yeah. I don't want it though. I want Andor to just be about a regular dude, a spy, doing his thing in the galaxy. We're gonna get Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's where we're gonna get our Jedi live action story next year. So I want Andor to be very different. I don't mind any discussion of the Jedi.
Right.
Cassian, when he meets Chirrut, I think AH points this out in their question. When Cassian meets Chirrut, he's like, "Is he a Jedi?" But I don't see that as him having any experience with one. Just he has some knowledge.
Yeah. A mention is always possible, but like I said, I don't think we'll see any unless it's Obi-Wan and he's like, "Hey, remember me?"
It would be fun, again, I'm like, no, keep Obi-Wan out of this. But it would be fun if Cassian were just like, "Oh man, I wish we had a Jedi around," and Bail and Mon Mothma just kind of look at each other like, "Yeah, I wish we did."
Where are those pesky Jedi these days? Sebastian wants to know which sequel trilogy locations we would want to appear again in upcoming Star Wars stories. Exegol.
Yeah. I knew that's what you were going to say, and it's what I was going to say, so I prepared another one, Jeddah, which isn't sequel trilogy, but it's Disney era, so I feel like that should count. But if you want another one, Maz Kanata's castle, I want that to show up in the High Republic at some point. I think that would be cool.
That's a good one. I can't, maybe, Kajimi might be kind of cool to pop up again, but Exegol is just the one that I really hope to see. And I keep saying that, we might see it in Acolyte, just because it's super old. That's going to be at the tail end of the High Republic, dark side stuff. Let's go there.
What about Lothal? Lothal with Ahsoka, if she...
Ooh.
Wait, that's not sequel trilogy, but...
Oh, yeah, I guess not.
Again, I'm just kind of throwing new Disney-era stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if she rescues Ezra and then gets to take him home, that'd be really nice.
Christopher Brown asks why Nala Se helped Omega escape Kamino and if her goals are different from Lama Sue's.
I think this most recent episode confirmed for sure they have different goals.
Yes.
And I love it. I love Nala Se. Just all these levels of, there's the Empire, and Lama Sue's, working to undermine them, and then Nala Se is working to undermine him, and I love that. AZ3 is probably underneath her, trying to undermine Nala Se. I just really love all of that. I don't think Nala Se is going to come out of this series alive, because she's going to eventually get caught. But I love seeing her trying to protect Omega, and I want to know more about it. Why?
Yeah. It's strange. She almost has a motherly instinct. And, all we really know of the Kaminoans is that they're very, straight-faced and, down to business. And she's not at all like that. At
least towards Omega. She was towards other clones, but Omega is special to her, and yeah, I want to know why and what kicked in this protective mother mode for her.
Mm-hmm.
But I like seeing it. I think it's a great part of the story. That's all the time we have for questions today. If you want to leave a question for next week's video, just put it in the comments below or sign up for Patreon to join our weekly Q&A discussion. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch.
And as always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.